Good morning. I'm just in the woods because it's surprisingly windy out today. I did try and record this earlier and it just, couldn't hear a thing. Anyway, where has the sunshine gone? Well, it's not arrived yet, but where is it? The weather said it's going to be like 19 degrees by Wednesday. It's not, and it's grey, it's been raining. I need some warmth back in my life. Weathermen can't lie to me. I don't think weathermen can lie for stop horse riders because it's very upsetting when you get told to do one thing and it doesn't turn up. Anyway, today's video is a schooling exercise one, and it's kind of my take on circuit training for horses with polework. I do like a nice variety of polework set out in the arena because I hate having to get on and off to change things moving. So having a few pole exercises set out in one session, then you can mix it up as much as you like. Also, it kind of works on all over your horse. It works on their core strength, it works on their suppleness and their flexibility, but it also works on their hind end. So you're kind of covering all areas. So I'm going to nag Lara and get her to ride football for me so I can video it from the ground. It just makes it a little bit better than when I stick my phone on my fence. And bring you guys along and explain what I've set out and why certain exercises I find really help horses. Yeah, it should be fun. But I like a mix up of all work. It's just a little bit more entertaining and interesting for the horse and the rider. So anyway, the wind is moving back, so I'm going to leave you guys there, and hopefully you can join me in the arena in this next bit. So first up, we did all the exercises in walk, and as you know, I absolutely love doing polework in walk because remember, in walk they have to actually physically lift their feet up off the ground, whereas in trot they have that natural spring, which makes it that little bit easier for them. Now in here, Corporal is being a little bit sluggish and perhaps not as enthusiastic as we'd like. So Lara just needs to sort of scoop him up together a little bit more, shorten the stride up, get him a little bit softer through the neck and his frame, and just start to work on getting that bend round her inside leg and then using her outside leg to make sure that he doesn't drift or fall out of the shoulder. So we just want to see a little bit more bend through his body as he's doing these poles. So one of my all-time favourite exercises, and I would say this exercise is probably better in trot, and this is the shallow S that you can do with poles. And the important thing here is about that change of bend over the middle pole for the horse. So brilliant for working the muscles behind the saddle, also for just making sure that the horse is really truly sitting and engaging their hindquarters. So here you can see she goes from left bend and then a flick as she goes over the middle pole into right bend. But in trot work, this exercise is brilliant. This exercise is called the weaving poles, and we just did it in walk because we just didn't have the space to make it in trot. But again, this one's great for making sure that the rider uses their legs when they're turning and not just the hand. Again, great for suppleness and flexibility for the horse. And here again, an exercise that we did just in walk. We've pulled the poles in to make a much smaller, tighter circle. And here, because the poles came up a lot quicker for Corporal, he had to really pick those hind feet up, and normally he's one for dragging them. So he found this exercise quite tricky because he had to actually get those feet moving and lift over the poles as he was turning, as he was staying soft and supple and bending through his body. So pretty hard exercise, that one in walk. Then what we did is we joined them all up together, making it into our circuit training. This all came up pretty thick and fast, so this was not only hard work for the horse but the jockey as well. So poor Lara had quite a job on her hand, making sure that Corporal stayed collected, stayed up together, that he didn't start running through the bridle or getting too fast. Control was important. You can see here he comes above the bridle a few times, just where she's using a half halt and he's going, I think I know better. He doesn't. So here she's just trotting the first circle of poles, really making sure that she doesn't lose him through that outside shoulder, but again that he stays soft around her inside leg. Again, watching that he doesn't creep up in pace here. Horses naturally tend to get a little bit quick through pole work because they don't want to take the weight behind. Doing the shallow S, looking for that nice flick and change of bend as you go over the middle poles. And here, importantly, we put in what we call the rest gap. So as she goes over this pole, we now give him half the arena here just to have a bit of a breather, because all these exercises come up thick and fast and it's quite intense work before now starting to do the exercises on the other rein. So here doing the raised poles before turning back across the middle of the school. Now obviously you don't have to set your poles up in this in this range, you can do however you like, but the fact that the horse has to keep thinking on their feet and the constant changing rein and changing exercise, I just found, Corp had to really focus, and so did Lara, because it was constantly changing bend, and that really engaged the hindquarters. Now interesting, you'll see here he gets a little long in his frame, the stride length becomes too long, and then the balance and the rhythm kind of goes out the window. So of course I set Lara off on round 2 of this exercise. Don't worry, he had a walk in between round 2 of the circuit training, and again just reminding her to keep him under control, take his time, don't let him rush through the exercises, making sure that she tries to keep him that little bit softer, a little more rounded over his back. Again, coming back to the circle, so working on making sure she has enough bend through the neck. Here you can see it's a little bit too straight for my liking, but here can you see how much more he's starting to step through from behind, and just that engagement and the lift from him behind. Now this is a 21-year-old horse who generally is pretty lazy with his back feet, so all these exercises are really starting to sharpen him up behind, which I absolutely love. You can see here just getting him to listen. These exercises are brilliant for horses of all abilities. All I would say though is if you have a young horse, either do it all in walk or simplify the trot work, because it's pretty intense going for them. So it would probably be too much to do all these exercises together for a young horse, but great if you've got a dressage horse, show jumper, or eventer. It's going to benefit them so much. I mean, look at this for some engagement and some expression through the paces. Quite impressed for my old boy. He's doing a wonderful job. Again, Lara here just having to use a half halt because he gets a little carried away and thinks he knows best. And then back round onto the pole circle. Here you can see if they get too quick, they end up coming onto their forehand and sort of becoming a little less respectful of the poles. So again, try and get your horse to take as much time as possible. Get them to use those hindquarters. But Lara did a brilliant job, and yeah, it's a really fun exercise to do, so give it a go.